here, and Paul will be joining me a little bit later. Some of you heard him before the official start of this webcast. Video also for those of you who are watching this as a recording, and we're going to be doing markets of your choice. And as I mentioned, when I do these from time to time, even if you don't trade these markets, the goal of this is to give you some education to apply these strategies in your own markets. And actually what we're going to be doing in this session is what we do we do a few times a week in our paid member site, mycalendcharts.com. I'll go a little bit more over that in a couple of minutes, but the legal stuff, okay, the risk disclosure, and as I don't have to tell you, there's a risk of loss of trading in pretty much any market in any time frame. And if you want to see the whole disclosure, you go to this link down here. Now, speaking of any market and any time frame, remember whatever markets you're looking at around the world, and we have a new feature that I'll briefly tell you about, and Paul will go into a little bit more detail, where if you go to our site, you literally can get any market in any time frame right on our site. But the main thrust of my little introduction here regarding any market is that candles work in all markets and all time frames. And I'll be looking mainly at daily charts, maybe a weekly chart for these markets of your choice. But of course, if you trade intraday and longer term, like even monthly, you can use candlestick charts. So let's start with the S&P. Okay, what I'm showing here, these two lines, we have a blue line and a red line for those of you who are joining me for the first time and not aware of the way I determine longer term trend. This is a 20-day simple moving average, and this is a 50-day moving average. And if the 20-day is above the 50-day, and especially if they're both sloping up, the longer term trend is up. So the theory of that is that when you're doing a new trade, ideally you want to go with the force of the wind behind you. You want to go in the direction of the longer term trend. Doesn't mean you can't go counter trend, but statistically, if you do go counter trend, the target should be a little bit lower. In other words, you should be not looking to make as much potential profit. So just a little aside. Anyway, what we have here at the arrow, and the short-term trend is up, so the long-term trend is up. The short-term trend is also up. I'll just draw a bold channel, have lots of lines over here. Okay, so that defines a shorter-term trend. You can see a little wedge pattern. But anyway, this is one of my favorite breakouts where we have a rising window, a gap higher, and it also breaks above, and I'll just draw this line here, breaks above a resistance area. So we have two reasons for potential support. One, the rising window, and two, change of polarity. Old resistance, 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 resistance becomes support. And look how nicely this worked here. Let me see if I get rid of this here. Okay, look at the lower shadow here, how it confirms support. So all trends are still up. And what I did here, and the reason I had the arrow before, is we have a box range, a Japanese collateral trading environment, a box range. And what you could do with the box range is take the height of the range, and that's about 200 points, add it to the breakout. So we have 2950, you add 200 to 2950, and you get a target of 3150. And coincidentally, that is right around my next resistance area. Okay, so support, potential support here, successfully tested, and the next resistance and the target is over here. Okay, another request is USO. And I'll just expand this, or try to expand it. Yes, in such a little, such a small price environment. So I'll just make the charts a little bit bigger. Here we go. Okay, now something like this, what I will do is look for a weekly chart. See, on the daily chart, again, it's hard to see. We have so many gaps. Okay, we have a lot of gaps and gaps here and gaps here. What I'll do is I'll look at a weekly chart to get a major resistance area. And so here, we have a small falling window right over here. The low here is 32.80, and the high in the weekly chart here is 32.40. So we have a 40 cents window. And not only is it a falling windows resistance, but it's prior support. So I'd look for key potential resistance right around $34. We'll go back to the daily chart here. Most of the charts won't be this time consuming. And here, this window is pretty important because it gaps above a resistance area. So by the way, the short-term trend is up, little bull channel. Longer-term trend, the 20 and the 50-day, I view as down. But notice the 20-day is now approaching the 50-day moving average. So the longer, while the longer-term trend is down, it's a little less negative because of the upward slope in the 20-day. And we got a request for the spider. Sam, I just did the SPX, which is similar to the spider. So check the video on that once it's posted. And so my potential support area, okay, is the rising window. See how nicely it held? Starting at 24 and working its way down to about 22. Okay, we'll look at Microsoft now. Here's another market. First of all, long-term trend is up. Okay. And a very obvious box range. Here's a resistance, and here's a support. For box range, we have to have resistance tested at least 2 times. Obviously, it's been tested more than that, and support tested at least twice, and obviously more than that. So these define the major parameters. Now, normally, as we discussed when I was talking about the S&P on if it does break out of a box range, we take the height of the box range. And so that's about $10, and you add 10 to the breakout if the market breaks out, and we get a target to 196. However, the issue with this is that even if the market closes above, let's say 186.5, you have another resistance area here, and another resistance area here. This is a classic dark cloud cover. See how well the candles work, where a red candle gets more than halfway into the green candle, and the dark cloud cover becomes resistance, and you can see how the market stalled within a few dollars of the high here. So yes, even if it breaks above this resistance area of the last few weeks, we still have a hurdle to get through. So really for Microsoft, we have to see a decisive close above 190 to say, as the Japanese do, to blow away the dirt. In other words, to get above a resistance area, to say we decisively broke above resistance, and support down here right around 176. But for right now, longer term trend up, short term trend also up. Nice long lower shadow showing the band coming in, but approaching a key resistance area. Look at Apple. And we'll look at maybe about 15 markets or so again, and we'll go through, some of them then, because we're getting a request about how you could be doing this more often, getting our input on markets of your choice, how to get market updates each day on the S&P and the composite and so forth. So I'll go through that in a couple of minutes, but right now we want to look at, we'll look at Apple. All trends are up, and I think pretty much you can see where resistance is. And classic candles, a doji potentially becomes resistance. Look at this back in January. Seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? The world was so different in January. The doji and another doji right over here. But even if you didn't have the second doji, we'd have the market stalling at resistance. So what we have to see is a close above the high of this doji here. So I'd want to see a close above 330 to say that this market is broken above a key resistance area. And you can see how important this 330 area is. Of course, over the last week or so, we've been stopping a few dollars above that, below that. So we need to close above 330 for breakout. And what should happen based on change of polarity, if the market gets above the 330 area, this old resistance area, as many times as it was tested as resistance, it should be really a key support area. Okay, that's how you can tell if the price, if a breakout buying opportunity is wrong. If the market breaks above resistance, it should hold the old resistance as support. If it doesn't, I would be out of long positions. And support, potential support, okay, is the rising window over there. Look at, oops. Okay, next one is XJO. Let's see. Okay, if I can see that right. Yeah, we do not get XJO on this particular platform. Okay, so we'll look at Beyond. Okay, Beyond Meat, all trend is up. Now, although the market pulled back a little bit, I'm still viewing the short-term trend is up. Why? Because of the rising window. And right over here. Okay, this is a classic morning star. You have a downtrend, you have a red candle, and then a green or red candle that doesn't touch the first real body or the second, and then the green candle gets deeply into the red candle. So that's a classic morning star, and that potentially becomes our next support area under there. And the reason it's been support is this resistance, resistance, resistance. You know, over here, see, we had a falling window over here. Let me do this over here. So the falling window became resistance. The market gapped down, falling window, the market moved above it, then closed above it. So this old resistance, once the market got above it, became potential support, which was successfully defended on this session and this session. So I'm viewing this as key potential support. And as far as resistance is concerned, just look at the highs, the major highs. Okay. Right around 145. So again, another market in a box range. Here's the box range. And what's nice about the box range, again, if you break above the top end, this old resistance should become support. If you break under the bottom end, this old support should become resistance. Okay, for those who are following fixed income, this is the 20-year bond. And again, even if you don't trade this market, you know, we could view this as education. So here we have the long-term trend is down, the 20 days below the 50-day moving average. Okay, the short-term trend is also down in a bear channel. Now here we have a doji. Doji usually work better at calling tops. See over here? This is a little bit more advanced. Doji work better at calling tops than bottoms. You know, sometimes they work at the bottom over here, but more often than not, it's not as an important reversal signal. So I'm not placing too much emphasis on this doji as a potential reversal signal as a bottom. And looking at the daily chart here, you know, so what we have to look at now are these lows over here. So, right, we're at a fairly important juncture. The market closed below a support area. Okay, moved below it. If this market gets back above, I'd say 162, that would be short-term positive. Right now, the bears are kind of in control. And if the market gets back above 162, that's called a crack and snap. And that shows the bears can't hold control. And in theory, the target then becomes the most recent high, right around 166. But for now, okay, the market is a little under support, and I want to see a break above resistance above the 162 level based on a descending triangle, which this is. Take the height of the triangle. Now, candles don't get price targets, so I've been using Western Technicals for, God, about 40 years maybe, since the mid-70s, however long that is. And so, I certainly add my favorite Western Technicals to candles, as I'm sure you do also. We each have our own favorite Western charting techniques. So from 168 to around 162 is 6. You take away 6 from 162, and as of now, you get a potential target of 156. Again, that target is voided if the market gets above 162. Mark wants to know the bearish equivalent to the crack and snap. It's called falling off the roof, and I'll show you an example of that. Okay, so see resistance, resistance, resistance. The market got above it. What should happen? The old resistance should be support. Once it gets back under here, this is called falling off the roof, and the Japanese call it falling off the, well, at least I call it falling off the roof. There's a Japanese term for it, I forget, but because I've read an expression, a Japanese proverb that says, let him climb the roof and then take away the ladder. Look out below. So with the falling off the roof, once the market breaks back under this old resistance area, as it did here, what's nice is you get a target to the most recent low, which is right over here. And notice how we got and exceeded that target. So there's a lot of great strategies we have in our education. And actually, speaking of education, let me quickly go to how the best way to get our education, to exchange ideas with us, get market updates and so forth. And then I'll get back to a lot of the other markets. We'll look at Tesla, we'll look at Amazon, we'll look at some currencies and so forth. So we have a special going on. Go to this link here, calendlarcharts.com/lifetime. And this is mycalendlarcharts.com. This is our interactive session. We work with other traders and ourselves. These are the prices. And one of the neat things is that we've just rolled this out. You get a lifetime subscription for essentially a few dollars more than a 12-month subscription. And let me give you some of the features. By the way, this is going to end Sunday, but let me give you some of the features. What we're doing now, where we go over markets of your choice, and obviously I can't get to all of them, so that's why we're getting a lot of requests, and I apologize for not doing all of them. But twice a week, we do a candle strategy session where we analyze markets of your choice, doing exactly what I'm doing here. We have a video chart of the day where we give you education, like what I just did with the falling off the roof. We'll do a video on that. You get a new video each day, each and every morning before the market's open. We will be giving you a trade setup. So each day you'll get a trade setup. We have Forex. We look at Forex markets. We do options. This is great. And this is a screenshot. There's so much more. I just took a screenshot from this link here. The chart challenge is one of our most popular segments in mycalendlarcharts.com because we show you a chart and we ask, do you know what this pattern is or what you would do here? You'll put it on pause and then you hit play and you'll see our answers. A great way to learn the candles to make sure you're doing it right. We have a candlestick glossary, and it just goes on and on and on and on. And one of the nice features, I mean, you could do this per month or yearly, but if you do annual, it's pretty much half price, only until Sunday. But beside that, you're going to have access to special topics, many, many special topics, which we normally have been selling for $79 to $99 a session. You have access to new special topics as they're released. We have options, boot camp, and so much more. And Paul will tell you a little bit more about it. But one of the great things about this is we just recently rolled out, and some of you may have seen before we started the seminar, is our charts where you could have, and it's on our website, where you could just put in any market you want, and it'll give you a candle chart on it. So you're not limited to worrying about a streaming service to make sure you get to the Indian markets or an overseas market. And Paul will go a little bit more into that. But what's nice about that is here you're going to be able to get the education, see how we view the markets of your choice. Each and every day we do the S&P, the Dow, composites, we do currencies, we do crude, and so forth. So I just wanted to briefly, discuss that with you because we're getting a lot of requests, and we'll go back to markets of your choice. Okay, here we go. So next we will do, okay, these are one of the currencies we do each day. Okay, the pound dollar. We do the euro US, we do the pound, we do the Canadian. Okay, on the pound, classic piercing pattern. And don't worry if you don't remember some of these candle signals. For those who take advantage of the My Candle Charts offer, okay, we have a detailed glossary that goes through each and every candlestick signal, gives you a picture, the psychology behind the pattern, and so forth. So here we have a piercing pattern, a bottom reversal signal. The market's been moving up since then. Long-term trend, although the 20 is below the 50-day, I view the long-term trend as neutral because the 20-day is converging to the 50-day, and it's not too much below it. Short-term trend, obviously higher. Look at this nice bull channel, but look what the market's approaching. Dark cloud cover. See, the dark cloud cover is the opposite of the piercing pattern. Piercing pattern, the market's moving down. A red candle, the bears are in control. Then a green candle opens lower and then gets more than halfway into the red candle. So the bears are losing control. A dark cloud cover, the market moves, is a green candle, and then a red candle that gets more than halfway into the green candle. And classically, the dark cloud cover, as we mentioned before, is a resistance area. Notice what we have here, another dark cloud cover. So the market is now approaching what I consider a key resistance area based on the dual dark cloud covers. And as to support, I love the change of polarity. Okay, this old resistance area became support. So I'd say right around the 123.25 area. And many of you don't trade currencies. Even if you do, you may not trade the pound dollar. But the same concepts, the piercing patterns, the dark cloud cover, the change of polarity, all are applicable to any market and any time frame. Okay, we'll look at Tesla. Long-term trend is up. This one, let me show you this. This is interesting. Let me see if I can make a rectangle or circle or something. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Okay. If I could shrink it in a little bit. No. Anyway, I don't want to confuse it. See this? Long green candle, a small real body. It's called the spinning top. And then a red candle gets more than halfway into the green. This is a classic evening star pattern. Okay, there's also a high wave candle. I don't have time to get into it, but this shows us the market's confused. And the high wave becomes a resistance area. So that's just an aside. But let's get back to the current action. Here, we have a clean-cut resistance area. No real candle signals here. All right, but you can see it's just multi-tested resistance. and the market's making higher lows. So we do have an ascending triangle. And here again, normally, if it breaks out, you take the height of the triangle. But as we saw in one of the other markets, even if we break above the resistance area over here, okay, where's next resistance? So let's say this is 828. Let's see, the high here is 843. Where's the next resistance? Right over here, around 875. And the reason for that is the falling window. So there's potential resistance. And then, of course, the highs of the evening star. Okay, as far as support is concerned, I'm just going to use the bottom end of the box range. A lot of these markets are in the box range. And here's the bottom end as potential support. Okay, look at a couple of more. And then Paul, getting a lot of questions, so Paul will get on. Well, amazingly, another box range, which is actually very healthy. Here's the bottom end of the box range. Because what happens is, if the market moves up very quickly, as it has over the last month or two, it gets overbought. Okay, it makes it vulnerable to a correction. There's two ways to relieve an overbought condition. One, you have a big sell-off, or two, you could just trade sideways. So the market is no longer overbought. And I'll show you. Let me show you how that. I'll use the Bollinger Bands to gauge overbought, oversold. Okay, so see how the market got up here and was in the overbought territory, top end of the Bollinger Band. And by trading sideways, it's not above the top end of the Bollinger Band anymore. And here we have another dark cloud cover. You just get rid of the Bollinger Band. So, okay, dark cloud cover over here, which acted very strongly as resistance for the past few weeks. So that's still resistance. So this is still the trading range environment. And if we get above the top end of the range, we're looking over here. One of the things I like looking at is if we have a candle signal. See this bearish engulfing pattern confirming a resistance area. The odds of a reversal are much higher than because they have a candlestick signal confirming a Western signal. It doesn't forecast how low the market's going to get, but it does increase the likelihood tremendously of the market selling off. So here we had a bearish engulfing pattern confirming, not really a candle signal here, but confirming a multi-tested resistance area. And we will look at Microsoft, look at Amazon. Okay, speaking of bearish, long-term trend is up, short-term trend down, neutral. And the reason I'm nudging it to neutral is we have this long lower shadow. I would view this as a hammer. With a hammer, you really have to come after a downtrend. And see this little bearish engulfing pattern here? This was a downtrend. So the fact that this hammer confirmed the prior lows here, and here, is a plus. Okay, so my target or my resistance area would be the high of the bearish engulfing pattern, red wrapping around the green candle. So here, here's my support area. Okay, under that would be my next support, another piercing pattern. You can see how great these candles work for reversal. So here we have a piercing pattern, the market rallied. The opposite of the piercing pattern is a bearish engulfing pattern over here. And of course, there's always a price that says we're wrong. Whenever we do our education at mycalendars.com, whenever we do a chart update, we always talk about understanding the nuances of candles. So here, there was a dark cloud cover, see? And notice how it became resistance. But if you were short on this dark cloud cover, okay, let's say you're doing an option trade, because candles work great for options also. Maybe your target was the piercing pattern. As soon as it got above the dark cloud cover on a close, you should be out of your short position. All right, there's always a price that says you're wrong. And these are the important nuances we go through in our education. So speaking of education, I want to thank you for joining me. I'll turn it over to Paul now so he can go over some of the cool features about the MyCC, mycalendarcharts.com. Over to you, Paul.
Thanks, Steve. And I did get a whole bunch of questions. So first, I'd like to thank you for attending live, or if you're watching this via recording, thank you for your attention. The analysis that Steve does in charting is phenomenal, and it will give you that extra level of confidence that I think everybody needs when pulling the trigger to make a trade. So what we have going on until this coming Sunday is that lifetime subscription of My Candle Charts. This is rare that we actually put out a lifetime subscription, and I'll tell you a couple things. One, we only offer this from time to time. We had a lot of people requesting this, so we're putting it out there because when we did it earlier this year, we had people take advantage of it and literally profit way more than what it costs for a lifetime subscription in just a matter of days of being a member. With all of the extra features and everything else that we offer to members of My Candle Charts, and we continue to add new features. So the lifetime subscription is only available until this coming Sunday, June 7th. And what I will tell you is, if we do ever offer lifetime again in the future, is you will not pay that price. It will be higher. We believe that we put it out there at that price point simply because we wanted to allow people to take advantage of education and guidance. That's really what the site is all about, daily guidance. Every day we're doing new sessions that are both live and recorded. Reason why we record them, because we have students in 85 different countries. Okay, there are 85 different countries that we have students from. So yes, you can start out with a monthly subscription, you can go with an annual subscription, or you can go with a lifetime. You wouldn't be here if you weren't interested in making money and making wise decisions. You can obviously take a look. Yes, lifetime subscription means you pay once, you own it for your lifetime. Okay, so stay healthy and continue trading and investing for a lifetime. And listen to what I just said, trading and investing. It's not just for short-term trades. Steve himself will tell you when he's looking at something for a longer-term position. We have students in our database, members, that are just starting out. We have other students or members of My Candle Charts that are hedge fund managers. They're getting the same education whether you're just starting out or hedge fund managers. Now, we're not allowed to tell you what hedge fund they're from. They won't tell us. Well, I know, but we're not allowed to put that out there. They are looking for an extra level of confidence. I don't know about you, but I want to know when a hedge fund manager is getting more confident from education. I want to know where they're getting that confidence from. So, Steve, if you could just scroll down on that page just a little bit, I'm going to quickly go through some of the features that we have, make sure everybody understands all of this. Every week, Monday and Thursday, we do a strategy session, very similar to what Steve just did, where members get to request markets of their choice. You get to request them ahead of time. You don't even have to attend the session live. You could always come back in and watch the recording. We have a chart of the day video every morning, Monday through Friday. We have a video posted so that you can learn something about candles. Doesn't mean that you're actually going to trade off of that chart, but it's education. Next, every day, Monday through Friday, we have a morning trade set up. This is a trade that either we're doing ourselves or we're considering doing. You don't have to follow it, but I don't know about you. I want to know what Steve is doing. Next, we have a Candle Congress. If you have questions, you could post a chart, post questions. Other members can post. Other members of our team can post. Every Tuesday, we do a Forex focus session, specifically teaching the Forex markets how to use candles in the Forex markets. Every Wednesday, we do an option session, Options Outlook, where the session is done live and recorded so you can come back in and watch it again, teaching you option strategies and how to look at markets. Next, special topic training. We have, I believe, 10 or 12 special topic sessions, each about an hour long, dealing specifically, and you'll see if you scroll down on this page even further, you'll see which special topic sessions they are. There they are. So blended candles, candles divergences, using multiple time frames, Steve Nissen trading principles, moving averages, and so much more. So those are all about an hour long. If you want to learn more about that specific topic, you would go in and watch that special topic. Those are available to annual and lifetime members. Normally we charge $79 each. You could do the math, calculate what all of those special topic sessions alone would cost if you wanted to purchase them individually. If you could just scroll back up, Steve, a little bit, go back into those other items. We have a chart challenge. Every week we post a new chart challenge. You would not be a trader and or investor if you did not like to be challenged. You want to make sure you understand the material very well. That's why we put up a chart challenge. Like Steve said earlier, one of the most popular things that we do on our site to ensure you understand what is going on. We do a blog, just a piece, usually I write it, about what's going on, how things are behaving, just feedback that we get from different students and things like that. This is brand new and I'm very excited about it. The new charting widget. We literally added this to the site earlier today. Why did we put it on there? It's so that you can go into our site at My Candle Charts for members and you can pull up any chart you want, any time frame you want. You can then look at a chart, request that to be done in a strategy session, or if you want to watch the trade setup of the day video or anything else and you want to pull up that chart to see what it looks like, you could do it right there on our site. Next, very exciting, our Options Bootcamp. This is for annual and lifetime members, a 3-part series that Brian, one of our certified trainers, did, teaching you how to utilize options in your trading. So if you've never made an option trade before, great way to get going with Options Bootcamp. Weekly recap. This is for longer term view, usually done on Friday afternoons. Longer term, looking at weekly charts, monthly charts perhaps, to get that longer term view. So My Candle Charts is an interactive, ongoing daily guidance site. Everything is done live, everything is recorded so that you can watch when it is convenient for you. Like I said, we have students in our site from 85 different countries around the globe. Okay, just think about that. The guidance that Steve and our team are providing is helping people around the world, whether they're trading, never made a trade before in their life and want to learn, or they're a hedge fund manager, whether they're brand new or experienced in candles or anything else. So again, the link is candlecharts.com/lifetime. We will always have membership subscriptions available, but the lifetime offer, and if you look at this page, Steve, if you could scroll back up, if you look at the page and the special offer that we have, knowing that that lifetime offer is very limited, it's only good until Sunday. After Sunday, that will not be available, okay? So yes, you can sign up for a monthly, yes, you can sign up for an annual, but also take a look at that lifetime subscription. If there are any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those. I know I went through that very quickly. If you do have questions, by the way, you can either email me. My name is Paul. My email address is paul@candlecharts.com. Or as you can see there on the lower right-hand corner of that page, this is a screenshot of that lifetime, candlecharts.com lifetime. The lower right-hand corner, there is a chat button. So if you click on that, you can certainly do a live chat with any one of our chat agents. And here's the great thing, folks. These are not just chat agents in a call center. These chat agents are all traders themselves. They're all very knowledgeable about candles and can answer any of your questions. So if you have questions, reach out either to me via email, or you could do a live chat with one of our chat agents. But we look forward to working with you inside of My Candle Charts, where we're truly there to help you profit in these markets. That's what it's all about. That's why we're here to help. And we strongly encourage you to take advantage of this limited time offer for the lifetime subscription. As you can see there, we are giving additional bonus. If you go with a lifetime offer, we're giving you a $100 credit towards any other product inside of candlechartsacademy.com. That's our other site. Not to confuse you, but Candle Charts Academy is our library. If you bought things like our mega package or our Nissen candle scanning software or any of our other products that we have available for our home study courses, those are inside of Candle Charts Academy. The site we're talking about here right now is mycandlecharts.com. That's the daily ongoing guidance. Okay, so I'd like to thank you so much. Let me just answer a couple of quick questions that just came in. Somebody just asked me, if I'm in India, can this site help me? Absolutely, it can. We have students from India using it right now in strategy sessions, in daily recaps, and international recaps. We cover Indian markets. So yes, we are helping students, like I said, in 85 different countries. Somebody just asked if they can use this for swing trading, because we kept talking about daily charts. Absolutely, this can be used for swing trading, intraday trading, as well as longer term active investing. Okay, I hope I answered those questions for you. We'd be more than happy to answer any other questions that you have either through our chat or through email. And I do encourage you to take advantage of our lifetime offer by visiting us at candlecharts.com/lifetime. Or if you're watching this via the recording, you can click on the link and it'll take you to the My Candle Charts special offer. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Steve, for taking the time out to do the markets of choice for our students here tonight. And I do encourage you to continue to stay safe and healthy. And we look forward to working with you over at mycandlecharts.com. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day or night.